Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 3 of the PNTCC. My name is Anders and I'll be your host for this round of highlights, or this round rather, of the PNTCC. We're in California, Laguna Seca, WeatherTech Raceway. Probably said that in a completely wrong order, and we're just catching the tail end of qualifying here, and we can see 66 currently leading the charge for pole with 132.480 and looking to increase on that lead with two purple sectors, two very good purple sectors as well. This might even tip him into the 31s as we come up to the timing line just there, and not quite a 132 dead, only 9 thousandths of a second quicker in sector 3, but I'm pretty sure that will be enough for first place. Fabrice Lenamy is currently holding the line in P2, Anders P3, Sonny in P4, Colson P5 and Graham in P6. No Burridge this week, meaning that for Anders it's just more about trying to gain as many points as possible to extend that lead in the championship. But as we all know, this is the PNTCC and anything can happen. So we move on to the end of quali. We can see Colson just comes around the final corner, but sadly gotten off track earlier on in the lap, meaning that is the end of qualifying. So 66 takes P1, Fabrice Lenamy in P2, Anders P3, Sonny P4, Colson P5 and Graham in P6. Before we head over to the grid, let me show you our new website, prettyninjaracing.com. If you want to get involved in any of our events, including the PNTCC which you are watching right now, just head over to our website, make an account. It's completely free to do so. Open an event that you wish to join, scroll down, hit join, pick your car, and that's your seat sorted. Now, so we are just waiting for the grid to form up here for race 1 round 3, or races 5 and 6 in the championship, but race 1 for round 3 in the PNTCC. I hope you're enjoying this content. If you are, make sure you leave a subscribe and a nice little like. We see that looking at the analytics, there's around about 70% of you that watch aren't subscribed. So, you know, we are a small channel after all, and if you want to get involved, you've just seen how you can, but subscribing is a good start. Speaking of starts, the cars are now on the grid. 66 leading the way after an epic qualifying session, really. Miles ahead of everybody else. And there we go, the lights are out and off we pop for round 3 of the PNTCC. Side by side go Lenamy and Anders down into T2. As Colson looks like he's got a bit of a rough start, and you can see on the leaderboard that Anders has managed to make his way past Fabrice Lenamy. And that moves him one position up from qualifying. As Cool Kid Sonny runs a little bit wide out of T3, Graham looking to capitalise on the move, but instead is putting him out of position for Mark Colson to slip on by. Turn 5, not the easiest, and Fabrice Lenamy goes onto 2 wheels and into the gravel trap. That sausage curb not doing Lenamy any favours on lap 1, putting him back to the back of the grid, or sending him to the back of the grid rather. And up the hill we go for the first time through turn 7. And Anders runs wide with the cold tyres, luckily not going too wide and able to get the power back down. But Mark Colson, after getting what is relatively a poor start, gaining 2 positions off the grid, is rather good going for the South African. Downhill we go for the first time. And round the second to last corner to complete our first lap of Laguna Seca in round 3 of the PNTCC. Fairly good all round, apart from Fabrice Lenamy getting done over by the sausage curb there, going 2 wheels, but well handled in all fairness. He could have quite easily have rolled the car through the sand. It would have been quite a tricky one to handle. So here we go, lap 2. With what I believe was around about a 6-lap race. 6 or 7 laps. I'm going to say, the average lap time was around about the 1:32.6 region, 1:32.8. Mark Coulson gets a nice little power slide in the Opel, chasing down the Honda Civic in front. So it's Civic, followed by Opel, followed by Civic, followed by Opel, followed by the 2 Cupras in the back. And Sonny runs a little bit wide there, takes a slightly defensive line going up the hill, not necessary really. This Mark isn't close enough, and plus turn 7 is very awkward. Now Mark does have a really nice drive coming up to the corkscrew. Let's see if Mark can make anything of this. Not this time around by the looks of it. Can he get a switch back? Not quite. Down the hill we go. Fabrice Letmy, on the other hand, in the background is trying to get hold of Graham, and they're side by side coming up to the second to last corner, and Mark Coulson just braking a little bit too late there, running wide, allowing Fabrice and Graham through, and that's Mark now sent back to the back of the grid. Fabrice Letmy is practically pushing Graham round the last corner there. Good stuff. Nice 4-way battle here for P3, the last podium spot. You can see that 66 is 2 seconds ahead really of Anders, and just storming away even after 2 laps. And Graham runs a little bit wide in T1. Bit of side-by-side action through T3. Now can Fabrice Letmy slip up the inside? No, he cannot, but that's really good driving there from Graham. Taking the race line, carrying the speed through. Coulson's now on the rear end of Fabrice Letmy. And they've got to be careful. If they battle too much, Sonny will walk away with it. And manage to get P3. Letmy looking to go down the inside, but Graham again just driving the racing line, keeping the momentum going. Up the hill they climb. Through T7. All of them doing that really nicely. Quite envious of that, to be honest with you. I just couldn't hit the apex that often in the Opel. I was definitely braking maybe a little bit too late or too soft. As into the corkscrew we go. And you can see Graham runs a little bit wide there. Well, no, it's Sonny in fact that ran a little bit wide. So Sonny's now dropped down to P4 and Graham's now up into P3. Fabrice Letmy runs a little bit wide. And I think realistically was saved there by the Honda Civic of Sonny. That car looked like it was going to shoot across the circuit. Might have seemed a little bit different in car view. If you want to see the race from Fabrice Letmy's point of view, you can check it out on his YouTube channel, which I will link in the description below. As over crest we go, down the hill towards the T2 braking zone. And Sonny runs a little bit wide into T2, but gets a smooth exit through 3. Not able to quite get as much power down. Just kind of carried a bit too much speed there sometimes. Or through that time, rather. And Coulson is bringing up the rear end 1 second behind Fabrice Letmy as Sonny hits the sausage curve. This looks like a prime opportunity here for Fabrice Letmy as we go into T6. Can Letmy get anything done? It doesn't look like it. And again, Fabrice Letmy is really enjoying hitting those yellow sausages. As we go up the hill through T7. And Sonny runs a little bit wide. This has got to be an open door now for Fabrice Letmy. He's down the inside and up to the corkscrew. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? I think that's got to be Fabrice Letmy through, surely. But Sonny's not giving it up. He's got the inside line on the exit. But then down the hill is Fabrice Letmy's again. So I think Sonny's going to have to concede. And to be fair, they're side by side still. And Fabrice Letmy just gets the job done, running a little bit wide, but taking the race line. Sonny's looking down the inside, moving slightly under braking there. Not quite sure who to fend off, and in the end, Mark Coulson picks up the rewards. I think if Sonny just stayed middle of the circuit, stayed in Fabrice Letmy's wing mirror, it probably would have been okay from Coulson behind, but great move from Coulson nonetheless. Taking the opportunity whilst you can. Now, can Coulson chase down Fabrice Letmy? Can Fabrice Letmy chase down Graham for that P3 spot. We can see that 66 has pulled away 3 seconds ahead of Anders now. So that's pretty much settled unless 66 makes some form of unknown error. That the top 2 are pretty much solidified there, apart from any mistakes, with 2 minutes 45 seconds to go. Pardon me. Apologies. Very professional here. Right, up to the corkscrew we go. The gaps are spreading out about a second apiece here. And Graham is 6 seconds behind Anders. Sonny running a little bit deep there into the corkscrew, losing quite a bit of time, I think. That's a shame. After such a good start, it's all about picking your battles in touring cars. It's ironically, sometimes the best way to defend is just to drive your line. And just to make sure you keep that momentum going. Especially around Laguna Seca, where it is quite a tricky circuit to overtake on anyway. Mark Coulson, the South African, crossing the line. And heading down the hill in race 1 of round 3. Remember, race 2 is a full reverse grid. So we're roughly where they are on track. We've got 2 more laps to go. So no, maybe 8 laps in all fairness. 8 laps of racing. Maybe 7 at a push. Or 7, sorry. Maybe 7. As up the hill we go once again. Let me absolutely annihilating that sausage. That must have caused a bit of damage at least. If not, that's a hell of a line. Graham has lost a fair bit of time to Fabrice Lamy from the beginning of that lap. I believe it was around about 1.4 seconds. Now it's down to pretty much 0.4 seconds. So he's lost a whole second to Fabrice Lamy here, which is the right sort of pace to get by. As over the timing line we go to start the final lap between these two. The battle for P3 is officially on. There's only 20 odd seconds left on the clock. Fabrice Lamy has got it all to do. As Murray Walker used to say, catching up is one thing, but getting by is another. And it looks like Lamy could be doing just that, but Graham again is putting his car in all the right places. Slightly narrower line through T4. Just fends off Fabrice Lamy just that extra bit longer. Slow in, fast out for Graham. It is a big old learning curve for Graham, this is, in all fairness to him. He's only been doing RaceRoom for a couple of weeks now in these sort of vehicles. Excuse me. I can tell I'm out of practice because my throat's like getting all like that. But the timer is done. 66 is pretty much close to the finish line now. So 66 will take the race 1 victory, but who will take P3? That's what the question on everybody's mind right now. Can Fabrice Lamy get anything done into the final corner? Nicely closed up to second to last, but I think Graham just gets that slightly better exit out of the corner. And I think that's going to be Graham's very first podium position in multiplayer. I could be wrong, but I believe that is his very first in multiplayer. I know it is for the PNTCC at least. So Graham Kirkpatrick gets P3, Fabrice Lamy gets P4, Mark Coulson gets P5, and Cool Kid Sonny gets P6, with the fastest lap time going to, no surprise, 66 with a 1:32.231. So race 2 is about to begin. It's full reverse grid. That means Sonny is leading the way. Coulson P2, Lamy P3, Graham P4, Anders P5, and 66 in P6. And away we go. Everyone slightly clustering into the middle, trying to give each other space. Anders staying wide. Fabrice Lamy going down. Mark Coulson's got the inside of Fabrice Lamy after a good start in P3. And even though we can't see it, Coulson completely locks up under the cold tyres, and Anders manages to squeeze his way through. A better way of seeing that is looking at what happened through Fabrice Letamy's camera. So you can see as we take a look at Fabrice's Letamy's stream here on YouTube, you can just see going down into T2, Mark Coulson just locking up on the brakes, taking off the front of Fabrice Letamy, allowing Anders to slide up the inside and getting bullied off by 66.
Clear all round. Be careful, please.
To try and hold on to P3. Side by side they go through turn 4, up to turn 5, and through the corner they go. And a bit of side contact there from 66, causing for Fabrice to lose the rear end,
back to
losing sadly all the positions, and heads back, well, back to the back of the grid. P2, 66, P3, Coulson, P4, although Graham just moves into P4, going up the hill, squeezing Collie, quite aggressive there, through turn 7, and we've got another battle on our hands for P4 as Anders nips into the lead up to the corkscrew on the inside of Sonny, keeping the move stuck, and it looks like 66 might be trying to overtake their Honda Civic teammate, going quite narrow into the second to last corner. Sonny on the other hand runs really wide, rejoins, goes back onto the racing line, catching 66 off guard and causing sadly a bit of a spin for both drivers. Sonny falls all the way to the back of the grid, and 66 you can see in the background there not having the race 2 that they were hoping for, hoping to get maximum points in these 2 races for round 3. And Anders is now leading the way. Graham now in P2 after getting a P3 finish. Mark Coulson running a little bit, I want to say wide, but that was on the inside. There might have been a little bit of contact maybe between themselves and Graham to end up on the inside line. Fabrice Letamy's trying to capitalise on that incident, and sadly not able to get a good enough drive out of turn 5 as we head to turn 6, going up the hill towards the famous corkscrew. We've got 7 minutes remaining, and there's already been so many position swaps in this race. You can see the gap to Anders and Graham now 3.6 seconds with only 2 laps gone. And Coulson runs a little bit wide out of turn 7. Fabrice Letamy's got a really good drive going up the hill. Can he get the move done? Not quite. Collie just about good enough on the brakes, running slightly out braking himself. Fabrice Letamy's now got the inside down the hill, allowing Letamy into P3. Coulson looking like they've got a pretty slow drive coming out of the corkscrew, and Sonny's trying to capitalise on that, but is unable to do so. Collie parking his car in the middle of the circuit. Nice and defensive driving there by Collie. Just not quite allowing Sonny any opportunity, but what that has done this lap is allowed 66 to come right back in it. Please excuse the coughing. As possibly quite a few of you that have been watching this, there's a lot of lurgy going on about at the minute. And, I'm just coming towards the tail end of mine. So we are on lap 3, round 3 of race 2. Race 2 of round 3. That sounds a little bit better, doesn't it? Race 2 of round 3 of the PNTCC. And Sonny runs wide, allowing 66 a easy pickup of position there. So that's 66 from P6 to P5. Sonny sadly just not quite getting the drive that they were hoping for. Now Fabrice Letamy knows he's got the pace to catch up to Graham. He did in race 1, but can he figure out a way to overtake? And that's the question we have here. Right in a minute, all the cars are fairly evenly spread. Apart from Anders is up the road by 6 seconds. But to be fair, that's purely because everyone else in the pack has been absolutely dicing away. Just taking full advantage of that. .66 has moved into P4. Sorry, I was just sorting out me snoz, my nose. Whilst that happened, not prime time, but never mind. So 66 is into P4, 2 more positions than you have P2, and you'll basically have even keel of results to Anders. Can he do it? There's 3 minutes left to go. Fabrice Lamy has caught up to Graham in front. This is race 1 all over again as we head down into T2. Hard on the brakes. Graham runs a little bit wide through T2 and misses the apex of T3, runs wide, which is going to allow Fabrice Lamy a good opportunity here to capitalise on this moment. And through T5 we go again. Graham just placing the car in the right area. But has he got a momentum? I think Fabrice Lamy might have just got a better exit there. But this time around, I'm not sure if he's able to really do anything about it. Up the hill we go. Fabrice just saying, hello, I'm in your mirrors. There's a battle of the Coopers and sparks flying off Lamy's Cupra as he heavily rides over the sausage curb. And down we go. I think there's probably, what, 2 laps left remaining. Yeah, lap 5. Soon to start lap 6, I would imagine. Yes, Graham ran a little bit wide there on the second to last corner. So allow Fabrice Lamy an opportunity to catch up just that little bit more again. There goes Anders over the line. So lap 6 now. What can Fabrice Lamy do? 66 is slowly catching up to the tail end of these two. It won't be long before he's part of the battle. But once again, Graham this time a lot tighter for T2. What about T3? A lot better this time around. Good exit there for Graham. He's just got to drive his line, make it incredibly difficult for Fabrice Lamy to be able to get by. I think here, yeah, Fabrice Lamy's got a much better exit. Out of T4, you can brake a little bit too much. Is he going to make the move into T5? Yes, he is. He's going to go up the inside. And there's not a great deal that Graham can do about that. He scrubbed off a little bit too much speed through T4. But up the hill we go. It's now 3 cars battling for P2 and P3. Who is going to come out victorious as we come up to the corkscrew? So we're on board with 66. Graham's locked up. And I think he's taken out Fabrice Lamy. Yeah, he has. So that's 66 going from the back of the grid all the way up into P2. And Graham locks up going up to the corkscrew, trying to get down the inside of Fabrice Lamy and making an absolute meal of it. But it's worth a go. And he's done the right thing. PNTCC rules or Pretty Ninja rules are if you cause the accident, you've got to wait for that driver and you've got to let them go by. So you suffer the same damage that they do. It just easy rules, really. Easy rules. So Anders has started lap 7. This will be the final lap, but 66 after a horrid lap 2 has managed to go from P6 to P2. Great recovery drive there by 66. Now, can Graham do anything to Fabrice Lamy? Now, Fabrice Lamy was undoubtedly quicker. Coulson has moved into P3 in all of that carnage as well. getting him on the podium tonight. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Fabrice Lemy's really pushing to try and catch up to Collie. Can he get anything done? Up the hill we go, through T7 for the final time. And you can see Graham's just scrubbed off a lot of speed. So Graham is settling for P5 here, but he'll be happy. He got his first podium. He'll be happy. He'll still see that as a successful evening. He'll be a little bit gutted the fact that he took out Fabrice Lemy, but I'm sure it will all be good. But can Fabrice Lemy get anything done? We're heading up to the last two corners. Mark does run a little bit wide through the second to last corner. Puts his car in the middle again. Fabrice going to try and go around the outside, but it's going to be really hard to do. And it's going to be a drag race to the line here. Can Mark Coulson hold on? He's staying around to the outside line. And it's just about enough. So Anders takes race victory in race 2. 6-6 P2. Coulson P3. Fabrice Lemy P4. Graham P5. Sonny P6. And the fastest lap going to 66 with a 132.546. So what does that mean for the Pretty Ninja Season 5 standings? Anders leads away with 157 points. Sadly, Noah Burridge didn't attend, so sadly dropping from P2 to P5. But more on that in just a moment. Fabrice Lemy moves into P2 with 110. Cool Kid Sonny moves into P3 with 104. 66 after two good results. And a brilliant recovery drive in race 2 on 99. Slips into P4. Burridge missing out on tonight's events, making him drop from P2. And only being a few points behind Anders, down to 97 in P5. Chosen with his first podium in the Pretty Ninja community and possibly in online racing. I'm not quite sure. You might need to confirm that in the comments. With 68. Bo Dixon in P7 with 55. Mark Coulson in P8 with 40. Joint with Jamski, our Season 4 champion. Well, yeah, Season 4 champion. Sobek in P10 with 38 and Lava Lemming in P11 with 30. So round 4 is at one of my first personal favourite circuits, the Valkenburg Motorbanner Grand Prix layout. It's a very thin club type circuit, sub 1 minute lap times. And if you want to get signed up, all you have to do is head over to prettyninjaracing.com and create your account, link your RaceRoom account and sign up. It's really that simple. And you can join our rather lovely and blessed community. But until next time, everyone, look after yourselves. I hope you are surviving through what is probably lurgy season here in the UK. I'm not quite sure where it is where you are, but I look forward to catching you for round 4 of the PNTCC next time. Bye.